Hey there, welcome to another video. In this video, I will review some of the code that was written by AI and discuss some of the issues you might have when running your app. So here I have the app that we created in the previous video using some AI prompts, and I will go to each section of the code that it was added, and I will explain it further. It is good that you do that, but if you don't understand the code, it is difficult for you to debug. I mentioned this quite a few times, but lately when I have been using AI, I am not like reviewing my code. Some of the code that AI is writing, like, it's too much. If I go through and review them, it's going to take too long. Most of the time I don't do that, but if there is any complication, I normally review the code. So let's run the app and see if we get any issues. So this is how you can run the app again, and these are the basic thing: npm run dev, and I will pass the flag of use localhost and then also reset this. The reason I do this because I want to see some error, and I'll show you how you can fix that in the first place. When you run it in localhost and reset, it is going to use the localhost environment. Let's connect it to our app. These are the basic things. We use the same configuration that we have, and now it says, okay, which store you want to select. This is the store. Basic stuff, we have discussed this previously, but you might see some error, but I'll show you how you can fix those errors if you do that. Now, this is the first error that you might see. Error, you have this localhost webhooks and the URI. Now, these are invalid because these are localhost URL. Now, to fix this, in development, you don't need this install or uninstall one, okay? That is the first thing. Also, the webhook for the update webhook. These are the things that you don't need for development. Only in production, you need this. In production, once we deploy the app, I'll show you how you can update this to stay permanent. That is one thing that you need to remove. The other thing is the proxy. For development, again, Shopify automatically generates this, that you don't need to worry about that. I will run this again. This time I'm not going to reset because I don't have to do that every time. Again, I'm going to use localhost. Let's see if I get any other error. I save my changes and I run this. Sometimes you might get an error. You have to run the Shopify app deploy command to deploy these new changes that you have done in here. That command is always recommended after you bring any changes to your app.taml file. Now I don't see any error and everything looks good. Let's open our app and see how it goes. If I open it in Shopify, this is how it will look like, but I get the access denied meta object. It is because for development, I don't have the proper scope. I can see like I have all this meta object definition, but under the scopes in here, I only have meta object definition and also product right. So let's click on this scope URL, find out about the scopes. Let's find out manage scope and list of the scopes that I can probably find and show you. Access scope, this is the list of all the scope. In here, search for meta object. And for this one, I also need access to read meta object definition, write meta object, something like this. So this is what I need to do. I should come here, put these new scopes. Let's put the read and also write meta object. Let's see if this is okay, not duplicated. Now, if I save the changes, the scope are updated. In development, it's not going to give you any error, but if you refresh the page, it should be good and it should show you the desktop. This is everything we have. The design is not the best, but again, you can customize the design, you can bring all the changes. The functionality is working as expected. The first thing that we have to check is the recommendation. This is product recommendation that it shows here that you can select specifically. As mentioned in the previous video, we also use the search and discovery app for recommendation. That is the API, and it is displaying the product properly in the product page. Now, the code that it has written, let me show you what most of the codes are. Firstly, this is the extension that it has created. One is product recommendation. Extensions are basically a way to extend the theme functionality. Either it is checkout or theme functionality. One is checkout recommendation, one is this product recommendation, which display on the product page. If I open the blog section, this is the file that I have. This is the schema. It has a CSS and also a JavaScript, some variables in here, and it will load the product in here. If I check the JavaScript, these are basic JavaScript stuff. I don't think I have to explain this. but this is how AI is writing the code. It is good, it is not bad, but if I would write code like this, it would be probably half of this. It is like, you can see it creating the button and this add to cart button, very old style. Everything is written in JavaScript. Now instead of this, we could use a web component or create a custom web component. That's also an option. Or we could use another like library like Alpine.js or any other lightweight libraries, so we don't have to go through HTML plus this one plus this one plus that one. Instead, we can just render it on a template level. That would make your life a lot easier, but honestly, this code is running only on pure JavaScript and you don't have to add an external library. That's the good part. But again, in the future, none of us is going to write a lot of this code, and we just ask you AI to write this, to modify it, to bring the changes, so you don't have to worry about that. This is the PDP recommendation, and under the local you have all the translation files. Sometimes you can have multiple translation files, so your app can work on different languages. Now this extension that you see in here is displaying on the product page, and this is the code. Now again, I will go back because some of you guys might not watch the previous video. If I go to the product page, I can show you where that is. Let's go to one of these products. You may also like, this is where it is loading the product. Probably you can see we added that in the previous video. If I preview this, it should give me the product, but if there is any error, you might see it might be related to the proxy, because it is sending requests to the API. Again, these API requests are protected because we are using proxy. I might record another video about proxy, but I think I do have another one in the old videos for Shopify app development about proxy and how it works. So please watch that. For now, it is not working because I removed the proxy from in here. That's why it is not working. But I can fix that in the next video. This is how it works in here. The other extension that it created, it is checkout UI extension. You can see if you open the Shopify app.taml, in here it shows you where it is going to display this. It is on the checkout block render. This is the target that it will display, and these are all the settings for this. Looks good. Let's see if this is displaying in the checkout or not. To access the checkout, you can come and the theme editor. You can click checkout and customer account. If you have access to the checkout customization in here, you should be able to add a block. Now let's add a block, and let's just put it under this block in here. These are the apps that I already have, but you can see easy product recommendation. It has the checkout extension and it will display it right over here. For now, it may not show anything. You may also like show the price true, and the number of product will just say, okay, let's render 3 product. Again, this one is checkout extension. If I go to checkout, let's see if this is working or not. Let's check out. Okay, this is not loading, but if you open the console, you should see the error that why this extension is not probably working. It is probably because of the proxy, which again I modified, and it is not working. This is something that I will fix in the next video, and this is how you can see just using a simple prompt, Shopify created the entire app. And I can go through every other file that it generated in here, but I think you guys understand most of the things. But again, these are just the basic idea of how you can just write the prompt, and this is where it add all the code. I hope this video has been informative. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.